Jan Blachowicz refractor. Ooh, John Jones. That's badass. That is fucking badass.
What would it take for him to surpass John Jones in your mind for that pound for pound number one?
I mean, when you think about what pound for pound really means, right? He fought Volkanovski, who's a weight class lower than him. John Jones beat everybody at light heavyweight, then beat the best heavyweight in the division like it was nothing at a higher weight class. So, John Jones is absolutely positively the pound for pound best fighter in the world. Probably the greatest fighter of all time in any sport. When you talk about who's the baddest dude in the world, you put two guys in a room and who walks out? John Jones walks out the room every time. No question about it.
And in no way trying to diminish John's accomplishments, but he's fought once in the last however many years. Islam's fighting multiple times a year, defending. So at what point does activity outweigh?
Well, beautiful. I like that you asked that question. Let's talk about activity. 3 years off. Nobody, not even Ali. Nobody's ever come from 3 years off and looked the same. John Jones walked through the number one guy in the heavyweight division like it was nothing with 3 years off. Yeah, John Jones is the best ever. Ever. And when I say ever, I mean in any combat sport. He's the best ever. You throw John Jones in a room with anybody, John Jones walks out of the room.
To deny this guy is the GOAT anymore, I don't think anybody would deny it. Not only is he the greatest light heavyweight ever, he looks like the greatest heavyweight ever too. So, there were a couple of interviews leading up to this fight where he was saying, I'm going to make this look easy. And I thought that was a silly thing to say. The guy is unbelievable, man. He really is. I'm a big believer in ring rust and what it does to. We didn't even get to see any ring rust. Who knows if there was any ring rust tonight? He just went in there and literally made it look like nothing, like it was the easiest thing in the world for him to do. He's a total freak of nature and he's the best ever. He's had 3 years to put on the weight. A lot of people are saying, I don't know, he looks soft. What if this, that, and, blah, blah, blah. Cyril Gane is a monster in great physical shape and everything else. John Jones went in there and just treated him like he was a little kid. So I think he is the level. I don't know if there's any other level higher than John Jones.
Not only is John Jones not afraid of Francis, John Jones is the baddest fighter to ever live. Ever. In any combat sport. If you look at John Jones is undefeated in the UFC.
He did the Curtis Blades tonight. I mean, let's be honest here. Curtis Blades is not a guy you walk right through. He walked through him tonight like it was nothing. So there's no doubt about that the guy's got the talent. But when you start talking, he won this fight tonight, he could be the greatest of all time. Again, you know how I feel about John Jones. It's just, you got some big shoes to fill, and you got a lot of people to wreck, before you even start talking about even being within John Jones' universe.
Welcome back to another episode of UFC Underworld Fight Club. Thanks for joining me. Today we'll be having a little discussion about the tragic career trajectory of Tom Aspinall and how it was affected by Dana White and all his escapades last year when he was glazing John Jones, and how this has all impacted the public's perception of Tom Aspinall, the heavyweight champion of the world. Let's begin. As you just saw, that was really strange to see, wasn't it? Dana White just all over John Jones' nutsack, just riding those balls like, it was the last train to Paris. And to me, it just all should be so obvious that that wasn't truly how Dana White felt about the situation. There was obviously something more taking place behind the scenes. And it actually played out in front of our eyes. It was the whole Francis Ngannou fallout. That's what caused Dana White to behave this way. The whole time he was just trying to keep the power with the UFC as a company, as being home to the heavyweight champion of the world and the baddest man on the planet. Because technically, Francis never lost the belt. He walked away. And really, when you look at things like that, he's still the champion. He never fought John Jones. And to whose fault should we place the blame upon? If you ask me, I would place the blame upon Jon Jones. He was not in the UFC technically. He had basically took time off, claiming to bulk himself up to heavyweight. You know, he needed time to do that. But really what we saw him doing was the same Jon Jones shit. Getting arrested all the time, you know, getting into a bunch of nonsense. And all of a sudden, he's back in the UFC as soon as Francis walks away. He's got the perfect matchup with Stipe Miocic. It just all seems so contrived and unnatural. So we have to place the blame on Jon Jones. I mean, it's his fault. Francis was there. There was plenty of time to do it, 3 whole years, and he never managed to get himself in the octagon. So here we are. We move on to Jon Jones versus Ciryl Gane. And Jon Jones runs through Ciryl Gane. It was amazing to see Jon after all this time off. I have to admit, that was unpredictable what happened. I couldn't have seen that the fight would have gone that way, but it did. And Jon looks like the man again, but then he calls out Stipe Miocic, a guy who has also been out for a couple of years, coming off a loss, and a pretty bad loss, a knockout to Francis Ngannou in the second round of their rematch. And he hasn't fought since. Now it's 2000 and whatever, you know. And, you know, Stipe's coming back. Stipe's gonna get off the couch and come fight Jon Jones. And that fight goes exactly how everybody probably expected it to go. Jon Jones beat Stipe Miocic, you know, hit him with a spinning back kick to the ribs, knocked him flat to his knees, dude. Stipe was TKO'd, and that was the last time that we'll ever see Stipe Miocic. So far, we have to give Jon a little bit of credit. He did beat Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane was, well, if you ask me, Ciryl Gane's the one they just keep putting in this championship spot because he just looks good there. All of the other heavyweights, I mean, we just saw a video released on what DC had said to, you know, Tom Aspinall behind the scenes during their little interview that he does in DC's corner. Dude, I can't help but agree with DC, dude. He's absolutely right. The heavyweight division is trash right now, bro, and that's just the facts. So, Ciryl Gane, he keeps getting placed in this spot because, hey, there's nobody else to put there that can sell pay-per-views, and that's gonna be worthy of even, you know, putting all the spotlight on. Tom Aspinall's just gonna run through them. Worse than he's about to run through Ciryl Gane this Saturday. But yeah, so this is where we are now. All of Dana White's glazing, and you heard what he said. They basically made Tom Aspinall supposedly the biggest, baddest man in the company in that octagon. They made him look like he didn't even matter. And that has affected the public's perception of Tom Aspinall. Everybody isn't getting as excited for him as they should be. He doesn't have a bunch of people like, you know, the fandom is not as crazy as it would be for someone, for example, like Alex Pereira. People are, you know, behind him. People are getting behind the hand on the shoulder thing, and I think Tom should run with that. That's cool. That's a cool thing. He puts his hand on their shoulders, you know, and Bogoman said he's just gonna go ahead and let him do it. It doesn't matter. Bogoman's in a really good mood leading up to this fight. I mean, he's happy, he's smiling, dude. He seems like he's not really worried about anything at all. It looks like maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he prepared for Tom Aspinall. We're about to see an upset, but I'm sticking with Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is gonna blonk this guy, dude, so hard. You know, so we're gonna see Ciryl Gane get knocked out. But I can't wait. I am so excited for this fight. I can't even tell you guys. Like, I can't even sit still. This is my third video I've made about it. And it's because I can't wait. Literally, dude, I'm just been sitting here waiting for the fight to happen. I'm going to be there for the first fight. And I love that it's in Abu Dhabi because it's going to be so early. We don't even have to wait. It's going to be like, I don't know, like somewhere around 2 o'clock p.m. I'm actually going to look that up as we sit here. Because I just gotta know. I know it's so early, dude. It's freaking awesome. Nobody even has to wait. 1 o'clock p.m. Oh my god. So that means I get to wake up Saturday and just watch the freaking heavyweight championship of the world take place between the two baddest men on the planet. Only one can walk away. I'm gonna be there from the first card on the early prelims, first fight in the early prelims, all the way to the freaking heavyweight championship main event, bro. But basically, I wanted to make this video just to give everybody more information about why this isn't how much all of that shit that took place last year with Dana White and Jon Jones, how it really affected everything, man. That's not something that I ever want to see occur again, because it's just not fair. Tom Aspinall, he's been the nicest guy throughout this whole thing, just playing his part, keeping his mouth shut, hasn't even really said too much of anything about it, other than when he's asked about it by the media, and he always gives like the man's answer, you know. He's like, hey, these guys can do what they want to do, I'm just here to fight, and you gotta respect Tom Aspinall for that this Saturday. I'm all here for it, as well as, you know, for Umar Nurmagomedov and Mario Batista, and also Mackenzie Dern and Vima Jandaroba. I can't wait. This is just a badass freaking card, guys. Like, you guys are like, dude. And then Alexander Volkov, he's back taking on Jailton Almeida. Like, bro, we are getting a freaking porterhouse right now, bro, in this card. Alexander Ratchik finally returns after that ass whipping he took to Yuri Prochazka, dude, against Asmat Barzankanov. I don't even know who the hell that is. That's the only guy on the main card that I don't. I'm pretty sure I've seen him fight, but I have no idea who the hell that is. But I'm so happy to see all of these freaking fights, dude. This is gonna be so amazing. I just hate the fact that Tom Aspinall, but hey, he's living his dream, bro. He's the champion. At the end of the day, we can't put all this sadness upon Tom Aspinall, because he's probably not that sad at all. He's probably getting paid handsomely this Saturday. You know, in the end, he got exactly what he deserved. I believe that Curtis Blades was Tom Aspinall's first heavyweight championship defense. I know he's been defending the interim title, but I believe that was his first defense. This is his second, and dude, he's got the guy, the UFC's it man when it comes to the heavyweight fights for the championship. Cyril freaking Gane, third championship opportunity, and you know, Cyril Gane's been off making a movie. Cyril Gane is like he's okay with losing. It may seem like look at how he took the loss to Jon Jones. He said it was his first real loss, but he wasn't even really that sad. Dude, Cyril Gane's kind of like, he's kind of like a blonde, excuse me for a lack of better expression. He's like the dumb blonde who's just like here, just like, you know, the good looking dumb blonde who's just like here just because, hey, they just keep giving me shit. I don't know. I show up, I woke up like this, and they just keep giving me whatever. They just keep giving me the best of the best, man. The best seat in the house, you know, with all of the bells and whistles. And he just takes it, dude. He shows up, loses another heavyweight title. Who cares? He got paid. He gets to go make another movie, probably. I heard the movie's not half bad. You know, it got, let's be honest, it has 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen worse scores than that. So what that means is that exactly what the reviews say. It's pretty much just, you know, a popcorn action flick like any other, nothing special, and it's okay to watch, but there's nothing special about it. But that means that he did alright. I might actually finish watching that movie, especially if he wins the fight. Then I'm definitely gonna go watch it. It's called KO, by the way. It was just released back in June of this year, 2025. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out. And this is something that Chael Sonnen touched upon in one of his videos. You can find it. He'll tell you, when you're begging for a fight in the public's eye, and you know you're not getting what you feel you deserve, and the public has to see you constantly, you know, pry to get something that should be already be given to you, it's like you lose power. And that's what has happened with Tom Aspinall. And it's all Dana White's fault. You know, it's all Jon Jones's fault. And, you know, Tom Aspinall, he's under contract. What can he do? All he can do is just what he's told, you know? And that sucks because he's the heavyweight champion, bro. Like, you know, they treated him the best that they could. But Dana White's whole glazing campaign for Jones last year really did a lot of damage. And I think that Tom Aspinall is about to correct all of that this Saturday when he knocks out Cyril Gane, you know, remain the champion, have an awesome and epic run, and hopefully we see some good competition come out of this heavyweight division at some point in the future, because right now they're just staying in it, man. They just don't have anybody else but Cyril Gane to place there. We know he lost his fight against Volkov, but here he is. And, you know, and the UFC will tell you, if a person wins a fight, then they're gonna treat it as if like or if they win the fight but they get the bad decision, they're gonna treat it as if it's a win for the guy who got the bad decision, but in reality won the fight. But they didn't do that for Volkov. They kind of did. They put him on the main card. You know, he's on the main card. He's coming up against Jalton Almeida, so both of them are fighting for that #1 contender spot, as it appears. And we're gonna see who comes out. Rather, it doesn't matter for me who comes out. I believe Aspinall's already fought Volkov, and you know he finished him in that fight. So Ciryl Gane, even though I hate to admit it, he probably was the best choice for Tom's first title defense. We gotta just admit it at the end of the day, and it's kind of true. I mean, there really isn't anybody else you want to throw in that spot except for Ciryl. So we'll see how he fares. Until then, thank you guys for being here with me. I forgot to mention to you guys that I have to give such a huge thanks to all of you, truly, because I never thought that I would make it to 500 subscribers, and now that I've gotten here, I just feel like all the love, I'm feeling all the embrace from the MMA community. Some people hate me, some people love me, but dude, I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.